Please allow me a brief moment pre-review to behave unprofessionally. Oh my god! Daybreakers is so f***ing good! Man, it's like imagine if they made Godzilla versus Voltron, and then while you were watching it, you got candy-coated solid gold that hot chick from Christmas Vacation. Yeah, like that. Okay, alright, I just needed to get that out of my system. Anyway. So, yeah, Daybreakers is the good stuff. Now, it seems to me that if this movie ends up making any kind of impact, and it deserves to, by the way, seriously, you should go see this. It's almost inevitable that it'll be first embraced most enthusiastically as the anti-Twilight, i.e. a vampire movie that yanks the much-abused monsters out of their sparkly-skinned, abstinent Dawson's Creek purgatory and ferries them back home to Castlevania. Chief among the virtues of this much-welcome retrofitting, these vampires are actually vampires. Hallelujah! That's right, Max Schreck, Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, capital V, vampires. Red eyes and fangs, burn up in the sun, no reflections, stake to the heart, bat-related, blood-sucking vampires. Yeah, that alone is reason enough to celebrate, but the best thing about Daybreakers is that after the initial wow factor of vampires being awesome again wears off, you'll find that the movie underneath is engaging, intelligent, and most surprisingly of all, funny. Much like my favorite movie RoboCop or last summer's District 9, this is a sharp social satire dressed up like a badass genre flick. See, as our story begins, about a decade ago some kind of viral outbreak turned basically everyone on Earth into a vampire. And since these are old-school Dracula vampires instead of the more recently familiar generic superhumans who also drink blood but don't do anything else vampires, that means they've got a lot of lifestyle rules to follow, which means lots of financial opportunity. Think about it. Someone's got to make sunproof houses and cars, video devices to replace mirrors since nobody's got a reflection. As it turns out, vampirism is big business. The biggest, of course, being catching and farming the remaining humans for blood. Except that the blood supply is running out. Gee, could this be a metaphor for something? And that's a problem because apparently if vampires don't get enough blood, they mutate into cannibal bat monsters. That's where Ethan Hawke comes in. He's a vampire scientist who's supposed to be inventing synthetic blood to stop the cannibal bat monster outbreak. But instead, he falls in with a bunch of human resistance fighters who are trying to cure vampirism outright, which you can bet doesn't go over so hot with all the vampire business guys. Incidentally, the good guys are led by Willem Dafoe, who fights vampires with an arsenal of crossbows and vintage muscle cars. Let me recapitulate that again. Willem Dafoe fights vampires who turn into cannibal bat monsters with an arsenal of crossbows and vintage muscle cars. Now, here's something. You get all that, plus an absolutely insane all-hell-breaks-loose third act and gallons of blood. Like, seriously, this is the bloodiest vampire movie since at least Blade 2. In a lean, mean 90 minutes and change. This is a slick, well-paced, no-bull, kick-in-the-ass of a movie that has enough going on for an entire season's worth of TV or a book series, but confidently just blows through it like no big deal. By sheer accident of chronology, this is the first big action, sci-fi, horror, nerdgasm flick of the year, and it's setting the bar pretty damn high in that respect. The characters are interesting, the actors are great, the story is compelling, the humor never gets in the way of the depth, the action beats are stellar, and the gore is plentiful. It basically does everything it needs to do right. Guys, I think you're gonna like this one.
So not a lot to add here, other than I really wish that this had caught on as much as I assumed that it would. I feel like people really forgot about this one coming out, never really got the attention that it deserved. I still think this is a great, fun vampire thing. It has a lot of original ideas to it. Really almost feels like an harbinger of things to come, in that if this was attached to a franchise, like if this had been Blade 4 or any sort of branded vampire movie or an underworld thing, this would have been received as, oh, this is one of the best of those, and instead it is largely undiscovered on still as a release, which is really a shame. If you really haven't seen this, go check it out. There's really not a reason not to. For the life of me, I don't know why this isn't more long-lived of a feature, but if it sounds good, go for it. It's out there. But yeah, Daybreakers. If this is the first you're hearing about this one, look for it.